Breaking news, and this one has the internet shook to its core. Fans are asking, blogs are spinning, and the streets are whispering, what really happened to Yungeen Ace? Because one thing's for sure, he didn't just disappear, he was silenced. For weeks now, Ace has been missing from the scene. No posts, no new music, no appearances, no tweets, no live, nothing, radio silence. And this is a man who, just a few months ago, was dropping back-to-back freestyles, getting cosigns from major artists, and going viral every week. So when he vanished, people noticed, fast. At first, fans thought it was just a break. Maybe studio time, maybe grief, maybe he was just laying low. But when his own homies started posting cryptic messages like, "We tried to warn you, and some things ain't worth the exposure," things got real weird real fast. And now, insiders are hinting at something way deeper. Something beyond music, beyond beef. We're talking industry silence, label betrayal, and a situation that might involve legal pressure, missing footage, and even people close to Ace allegedly being paid off to keep their mouths shut. One anonymous message leaked on a private Discord claimed, Ace was getting too bold. He started talking about things that was never supposed to be public. Then suddenly, he's gone, but what if it wasn't voluntary? What if there was a reason his music got pulled from certain platforms? What if there's footage we were never supposed to see? What if someone in the circle made a call and now Ace can't speak at all? Because disappearing is one thing. Being silenced, that's something else entirely. And in this video, we're breaking down every clue, every betrayal, and the moment fans believe everything changed for Yungeen Ace. Buckle up, it's about to get wild. The silence was too loud to ignore. At first, it started like most disappearances in the industry, a few days with no posts. But then a week passed. Then two. By the time the third week hit, fans weren't just concerned. They were panicking. Where is Ace? What happened to Yungeen? Why hasn't he said anything? Instagram comments under his last post were flooded, people tagging his friends. Some even tagging Atlantic Records asking, why y'all quiet? Nobody said a word. But it wasn't just the absence that had people raising eyebrows, it was the way everyone around him went quiet too. You know how it goes. When one artist disappears, the homies usually hold it down, throw up a number free Ace, or at least say something like, he good. But this time, nothing. Not a word from the ones who used to post him daily. And then came the first real clue. A now-deleted tweet from one of Ace's former videographers said this. It's crazy how quick they turn on you once you stop playing by the rules. Some of us still got morals. That was the first domino. Blogs screenshotted it and the conversation exploded. What rules? Who turned on him? Why was he even being turned on? Then someone, an anonymous burner account, dropped a voice memo that shook fans to the core. The voice, it wasn't 100% confirmed, but fans are convinced it was Ace. In the clip he says, they told me not to talk about it. That if I just dropped it and moved on, I'd still get the rollout. But I ain't built like that. I'm not finna keep quiet when I saw what I saw. That line, I saw what I saw, it became a rallying cry online. I saw what I saw started trending on TikTok and Twitter as fans speculated. What did Ace see? What was so serious that people would rather have him silent than let him speak? Digging began. Reddit threads, Discord rooms, fan accounts with timelines, receipts, and guesses. Some said it had to do with an unreleased music video that mysteriously vanished from his YouTube drafts. Others pointed to a studio session Ace had in Miami the night before he went quiet, one where a major rapper pulled up but never posted about it. And this is where things start getting strange. One fan account dropped a screen-recorded IG live from a producer named LV Thaw Engineer who'd worked with Ace before. In the live, someone asked him, "Yo, what happened with that Ace session in Miami?" LV smiled, then looked around the room and said, "Man, y'all asking too many questions. All I'ma say is, not everybody in that room was who they claimed to be." That live got pulled within the hour, but it was too late, the narrative had taken off. Who were the people Ace was in the room with? And why were those studio files suddenly corrupted? An even bigger piece of the puzzle dropped when fans noticed Ace's music quietly getting removed from certain streaming playlists. Not deleted, just pushed out of rotation. People started asking, was this a label issue, a clearance problem, or was something being intentionally buried? Then came the DM leak. A screenshot popped up in a fan forum allegedly showing a conversation between Ace and someone saved in his phone as OGM, the message from Ace read, "They trying to shut me down cause I won't let it go. But they forget I still got the hard drives." That alone changed everything, because now we weren't just dealing with a missing rapper, we were dealing with a possible cover-up, something Ace refused to forget, something he might have recorded. And that was the moment fans realized, maybe this wasn't about music at all. Another source who claimed to be close to Ace's camp said he had been working on a short film-style visual that exposed things that would make a few industry names uncomfortable. According to this source, Ace planned to release it independently without label clearance, which allegedly triggered a serious conversation behind the scenes. Allegedly, according to this source, Ace was given a choice, either stick to the music or disappear. And just like that, he did, but it wasn't just internet sleuths getting involved. Some of Ace's own people started moving differently. His friend Reek, who used to post Ace daily, suddenly started posting cryptic quotes like, "Loyalty gets expensive when the truth ain't profitable." Then someone in the comments asked if that was about Ace. Reek replied with the zipper mouth emoji. Another day passed and a known promoter from Florida who previously booked Ace said during a live stream, "They told me not to book him no more, that's all I'ma say." Fans flooded the chat. "Who told you? Why? Is he locked up?" The promoter never answered, just ended the live. It started feeling like everyone was scared to talk. Even more chilling was when fans noticed that Ace's mom had taken down every photo of him from her page. Gone, all of it. Some said maybe it was grief, maybe she just wanted peace. But then she posted a quote that read, "Sometimes silence is the loudest scream for help." And right there, the whole internet stopped. Because if even his own mother was speaking in riddles, then something was definitely wrong. Fans began demanding answers from Atlantic, from his management, from his closest friends, but still nothing. A rapper from Baton Rouge who was briefly seen with Ace in a vlog posted a single story slide that said, "They know what they did to him, we all saw it." That message, vague, no name tagged, sparked another wave of theories. Some fans believe Ace stumbled onto something that had nothing to do with rap. A business deal, an extortion situation, a betrayal that was caught on camera. Others believe he tried to leave his label and was disciplined for not playing ball. That maybe this isn't about one moment, but a whole buildup of him refusing to follow the script. And while all of this is happening, one person has been completely silent through it all, Ace himself. No word, no post, no sign. Nothing, and maybe that's the scariest part. Because the Ace fans knew, the one who went live while still healing from bullet wounds, who always showed love to his people, who never bit his tongue, that Ace wouldn't just disappear. Not unless someone or something made him. We're diving deeper into the timeline, the key players, the Miami session, the mysterious files, and the warning that allegedly came before Ace vanished. Because if the streets are right, he didn't walk away, he was pushed out of the spotlight and into silence. So let's rewind the tape, because this didn't happen overnight. Yungeen Ace didn't just vanish out of nowhere. If you follow the breadcrumbs, the signs were there for months, hidden in plain sight, coded in captions, and whispered through stories that never made headlines. And at the center of it all, that one studio session in Miami. Everyone close to Ace knew he wasn't going down there just for a regular feature. According to several insiders, Ace had been talking for weeks about doing something different, something bigger than rap. One engineer who worked with him described it as part music video, part documentary, part confession. It was supposed to be a statement piece. The type of visual that makes the whole game stop. But then things shifted. He touched down in Miami on a Thursday. He posted a quick story at the airport, just the runway and a vague caption. "Gotta say it before it's too late." Fans thought it was a lyric. Now it feels like a warning. He was seen that night at a recording studio in Wynwood. That was the last time anyone saw him publicly. There were rumors he met with an unnamed Atlantic A&R. Another story claims a well-known executive showed up unannounced and stayed behind closed doors for over an hour. But what happened in that room, nobody knows. The cameras in the lobby were down for maintenance, and the receptionist reportedly got let go a week later. A small-time YouTube vlogger who happened to be at the studio that same night shared a clip on his page. He caught Ace walking in, hoodie up, head low, and behind him, a man in all black, face blurred by the frame, who fans now believe is the same security advisor seen weeks later with one of Ace's label mates. In the vlog, Ace doesn't smile, doesn't nod, doesn't acknowledge the camera, just disappears behind the studio door. That door never reopened on camera. What makes this even more suspicious is what happened after that night. The next morning, the studio's social media went dark. No new posts. Then came the quiet deletion of the booking schedule from that week. Why would a studio scrub its own history? A producer who worked there and moved out of state shortly after the session claimed Ace was acting paranoid. He reportedly kept asking if the room was tapped, insisted the engineer turn off the cloud backups. He even made everyone sign NDAs, something that's not unusual for big artists, but this time, he was reportedly aggressive about it. And then nothing. No behind-the-scenes photos, no leaks, not even a snippet. That alone was strange. For someone as visible and transparent as Ace, who always shared previews, teases, even raw voice memos, the complete blackout was uncharacteristic. Then, as if clockwork, the strange behavior spread. Ace's inner circle began posting vague captions. His photographer posted a black and white photo of an empty mic stand with the words, "Missin' Energy." One of his producers tweeted, "They erased the room like it never happened." Another just posted a broken heart and went ghost. But the heaviest piece? A screen recorded live that only lasted 6 minutes before being taken down. The person in the video was an associate who once toured with Ace and had gone MIA for a while. In the live, he said, "Y'all keep asking where Ace at, ask who made the call, ask who brought that man to the building and left him with strangers, ask who tried to buy out the footage." That clip spread like wildfire. Buy out the footage became the new phrase floating on Twitter, with fans speculating that there was camera evidence of what really happened that night and someone paid to make it vanish. And now, the files. Let's talk about that hard drive. It's been mentioned in almost every leak, every DM, every fan theory. The one Ace allegedly said he had. The one with recordings, visuals, receipts. Multiple sources say that hard drive was with him the night of the Miami session. He refused to put anything on the studio system, choosing instead to plug in his own drive, record directly into it, and take it home. But here's where it gets scary: that hard drive hasn't been seen since. One of the engineers admitted off-record that Ace left it behind that night, but when they went back to retrieve it, gone, not misplaced, not erased, gone. Some say it was taken by the man in black. Others say it was handed over in exchange for a silence agreement. There are even theories that the drive was cloned and someone higher up has both the original and a copy. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain. Ace had something he wanted the world to hear, and someone made sure it stayed unheard. The pressure started mounting. Blogs that covered the story early on began deleting their articles. One outlet that published a timeline of Ace's last known movements mysteriously removed the post, then tweeted, "Due to legal reasons, we cannot comment on this matter." Legal reasons, no arrests, no lawsuits, but legal reasons. Even more strange, a fan tried to file a wellness check in Jacksonville, only to be told by local authorities there is no active missing persons case at this time. But that fan later claimed she received a call from a blocked number warning her to stop digging. Now let's talk about Atlantic. Ever since Ace went dark, they've made no official statement. But fans noticed that in a recent blog interview with another Atlantic artist, a question about Ace was edited out. The journalist later shared the uncut version on Patreon, and here's what was said: "Ace is on a break. He's working through some things. We're just letting him heal privately." Heal privately, but his own friends don't even know where he is. His phone disconnected, his studio shut down, his mother scrubbing his face from her page. This isn't healing. This is a lockdown. And maybe the scariest part of all, another artist from Jacksonville posted a track snippet last week. In the background, nearly drowned out by the beat, you can hear a voice say, "They took Ace 'cause he knew too much." That's not a bar, that's a message. Some fans say the voice sounds like one of Ace's cousins. Others think it's AI. But the message is clear. This isn't about clout, this isn't about music. This is about control. Ace didn't disappear. He was removed. And if what's being whispered is even half true, he might be the first of many who gets silenced when they start asking the wrong questions in the right rooms. The silence was no longer suspicious, it was terrifying. Because by now, even the people who once tried to stay neutral were starting to speak up. Small producers, video editors, engineers who had worked with Ace on and off, suddenly, they all had something to say. The pattern, same story, different version. Ace was into something bigger than we realized, and once he said no, everything changed. One story came from a video editor who had worked on several of Ace's early visuals. He dropped a thread that revealed how Ace had reached out a few weeks before his disappearance to create an uncut documentary, the type that doesn't get label approval. The project was titled Unboxed. The plan, according to the editor, was to drop it on a burner YouTube channel, no monetization, no rollout, just the raw truth, What that documentary contained, nobody knows. But here's what we do know. A week after that request was made, the editor got an email from a company with a random-sounding name but an address traced back to a major music group. The email simply said, "If you've been contacted by the subject known as Ace, please understand this material is under review and not authorized for public use. We advise you to disengage." That was enough for the editor to back off. And that's when fans realized this wasn't just about one artist. This was about control, ownership, and silence at the corporate level. Because if someone like Ace, who had survived real-life loss, real-life trauma, and kept rising, if he could be wiped out digitally and physically without anyone questioning it, then who else is at risk? But that's not the end of it. There's a second name that's been quietly floating behind the scenes, someone tied to Ace before the fame, someone with influence in the Southern Circuit who allegedly fell out with Ace over direction and allegiances. His name: CEO Ronzo. Ronzo wasn't an artist. He was a connector, one of those behind-the-curtain names that books tours, sets up last-minute sessions, and links labels with talent. Word is, Ronzo had been working with Ace since the beginning. Helped him get his first big feature. But something happened around late 2022. Ace suddenly unfollowed Ronzo, stopped posting him, stopped giving him shoutouts. Then, weeks before the Miami session, Ronzo posted this to his close friends list: "You bite the hand that feeds you, don't be surprised when the plate get taken." It didn't go public at the time, but now it's resurfaced. And fans are starting to believe Ronzo was one of the people who warned Ace not to move forward with that documentary. A leaked DM between Ace and someone with the initials RC said, "I'm telling you, bro. Once you start naming names, it's up. You sure you ready for that smoke?" Ace replied, "It been up. What they gon' do, kill me twice?" That response is chilling, because the fact that he even thought like that means he knew he was already in danger. And then there's the footage. According to a podcast that covers underground Florida artists, there's a second angle from the studio surveillance the night Ace disappeared. A hard-to-find, low-quality clip that allegedly shows two unknown men entering the building after Ace had already gone in. Both dressed in black, no security tags, one of them holding something under his jacket. The podcast host said he was sent the footage by a whistleblower who used to work for the studio's management. He claims the studio erased all internal footage and told staff not to speak to anyone about Ace's session. But somehow this second angle survived. The footage hasn't been posted publicly yet, but fans who claim to have seen it say it shows one man staying outside the studio door and the other going inside. 10 minutes later, Ace never walks out. Now here's the wild part. After this podcast dropped, the studio's IG account went private and their main page deleted all mentions of Ace. A follower count that was once 45,000. Now hovering around 8,000, comments disabled, bookings by referral only. That's not coincidence, that's damage control. And what about Ace's closest friends? The ones who had his back during shootouts, label drama, and legal trouble? All MIA. One of his longtime collaborators, Juwon, who used to post Ace every week, suddenly made his page private and unfollowed over 200 people, including fan pages asking about Ace. Another artist, Cade B, known for being Ace's right hand in early vlogs, was asked on live about the situation. His response: "We all go through things, sometimes silence is healing." But fans weren't buying it. Because Ace didn't do silence, not when he was hurting, not when he was climbing, and especially not when he was making his next move. Another eerie post came from a street blog based in Tallahassee. They posted a blurry screenshot of a group chat allegedly between Florida artists. In the chat, one message said, "They really ghosted bro, told his own people not to speak or they lose backing." SHT crazy. That message had no names attached, but it didn't have to. Everyone knew who it was about. And if that wasn't enough, two producers who used to work with Ace posted a story slide with one sentence: "We tried to protect him." No explanation, no tags, just that. That line alone sparked a theory that Ace might have been warned not to go to Miami in the first place. That maybe the documentary wasn't the only reason people were worried. Maybe he had evidence. Maybe it wasn't just about the industry. Maybe it was street politics. Maybe it was both. Because let's not forget, Ace had lost everyone: his brother, his friends, his trust in people. And according to those close to him, the last thing he wanted was to go out like another rapper caught in the system. He wanted to leave a message. And now that message might never see daylight. But that brings us to the next piece. a burner account that just surfaced claiming to have part of the documentary Ace was working on. The account posted a 12-second clip, blurred, no sound, showing Ace in a dimly lit room, reading from what looks like a notebook. The caption, "This was supposed to drop next month. They stopped it. But I won't let it die." That clip was pulled in under an hour. DMCA takedown, no warning. Now fans are convinced that whoever is behind that account has access to the files, and they're waiting for the right moment to leak it all. Because if Ace can't speak, then someone else will. The more they tried to bury the truth, the louder it screamed. That 12-second blurred video of Ace reading from the notebook may have been short, but it reopened wounds the internet was already raw from. Everyone wanted to know, where's the rest? Who had the footage? Who was willing to risk everything to make sure the message got out? Then came a message from a newly created account with no followers, no profile pic, just a single bio line that read, "We heard him, y'all will too." And then it posted a countdown timer, 7 days. Fans flooded the account, reposting the countdown with captions like, "The drop is coming. If they won't speak, we will. Ace lives through US." Speculation ran wild. Some said it was a hoax. Others believed it was a member of Ace's team, someone who escaped the pressure and was ready to finish what he started. A few even believed it was a fan who had somehow hacked into the missing hard drive. But what nobody expected was her. 2 days into the countdown, an unexpected voice finally broke the silence, his girl. For months, she'd kept a low profile. No interviews, no tweets, no mentions. But suddenly, she posted a selfie, no caption, and in the background, just barely in frame, fans spotted the edge of Ace's infamous spiral notebook, the one he always wrote in during the studio. That post alone hit 200,000 likes in 3 hours, but then she went live, tears in her eyes, hoodie pulled tight, and for the first time, the silence cracked. "He knew, he told me they would come. He made me promise if anything happened to protect his words, and I have. I ain't fold, even when they called, even when they threatened, even when they offered money." She paused, then looked dead into the camera. "Y'all think he disappeared? He didn't, he got erased, but I got the pieces, and I'm dropping it with or without your permission." Fans lost it. Her name trended for 48 hours straight. Memes, fan edits, reaction videos, Ace's girl became the frontline in a war the industry never wanted to be seen. And just like that, the anonymous burner posted again. "Drop confirmed, 72 hours, Project Ghost." Now the streets weren't just buzzing, they were boiling. Other artists started chiming in cryptically. A rapper from Baton Rouge tweeted, "Been quiet long enough, let the truth speak now." A West Coast artist wrote, "Labels be praying silence keeps you safe. Sometimes silence is the gun." Even producers who hadn't touched the topic suddenly began liking posts about Project Ghost. Then came the audio leak. Posted at 3:33 a.m., it was a 44-second clip of what fans believed was the beginning of Ace's documentary. The audio was dark, echoing, but his voice was unmistakable. "I know they gonna hear this and panic. I know they'll try to stop it. But if you hearing this, that means I didn't make it out clean. And that's okay. I'm not scared of death. I'm scared of being forgotten. So remember this part, I didn't go quiet. They made me." The internet stood still, and just as fast as it dropped, it vanished. Copyright strike, platform ban, even search results started being suppressed. But again, fans had already screen recorded it, shared it, reposted it to Telegram, Discord, burner IG pages, and saved it on hard drives. The voice couldn't be silenced anymore. Then the final bombshell came. Ace's girl posted a picture of a flight confirmation. Destination, New York, arrival date, the exact day Project Ghost was set to drop, and the caption, "Meeting with someone who promised to let the message breathe, independent." No edits, no fear. Fans speculated she was headed to one of the biggest independent podcast shows in the world, one that had exposed label corruption before and had a reputation for not bowing to pressure. This wasn't just about dropping a documentary anymore. This was about setting fire to the system. And just like that, the blog headlines began to change. Instead of "Where is Yungeen Ace?" the stories were now reading, "Is Yungeen Ace the whistleblower the industry tried to erase?" But the scariest part, certain media outlets still refused to cover it, still silent, still protecting names. Even verified journalists began posting vague warnings like, "Not everything deserves to go public. Some files come with blood." Fans weren't buying it. In fact, it just made people push harder. More burner accounts started posting countdowns. A fan-led website was created titled The Real Ace, with archives of his lyrics, unreleased snippets, and now, allegedly, a shadow version of the documentary. And then the timer hit 0. Project Ghost went live for only 6 minutes. It was immediately pulled from the original platform, but in that 6 minutes, over 80,000 people watched it. Descriptions from those who saw it say it featured Ace walking alone, sitting in a warehouse, reading entries from his notebook, talking about betrayal, talking about surveillance, talking about labels owning more than just your masters. He mentioned a specific deal, one he said was never supposed to be offered, and that he turned down. He talked about how, right after that, things changed. Messages stopped. Money got delayed, people he trusted disappeared, and then the screen went black with one sentence: "If I die, make sure they know I didn't die dumb." Once the video was pulled, fans began reposting what they remembered, transcripts. Frame-by-frame analysis, dissecting the lighting, the background, trying to figure out when and where it was filmed. One eagle-eyed viewer claimed the footage was actually shot weeks before the Miami session. Meaning, Ace knew something was coming, and he recorded a version of the truth as insurance. Now the question isn't where is he, the question is he alive, and if he is, what now? Some fans believe Ace is in hiding, waiting to see how far the truth spreads. Others fear the worst. But all agree on one thing: Project Ghost shattered the silence, and no amount of takedowns can undo what's already in motion. Now the internet and the industry waits. Will more footage drop? Will Ace resurface? Or did he leave this as his last message and trust that the people would carry it? The system did everything to bury his voice, but the fans, they turned it into a movement. And now, whether Ace comes back or not, they can't unhear the truth. And just like that, we've reached the end of what might be one of the most shocking, emotional, and mysterious disappearances in recent rap history. But was it really a disappearance? Or was it something deeper, something darker, something orchestrated? Because when an artist like Yungeen Ace, someone who's survived trauma, loss, and industry pressure, suddenly vanishes after speaking on things he wasn't supposed to, the silence becomes deafening. The deleted footage, the burner accounts, the warning messages, the erased sessions, the leaked documentary, his own family moving differently. The fans are watching it all unfold like a movie, but this ain't fiction. This feels way too real, so now we ask you, what do you think really happened to Yungeen Ace? Was he forced into silence by people more powerful than we realize? Is he still alive, watching everything from the shadows, waiting for the storm to pass? Or did he already say everything he needed to in Project Ghost and trust us to carry it? Drop your theories in the comments below. Let us know which part hit you hardest. Was it the notebook, the footage, the countdown, his girl going live? What do you think happens next? And trust, this isn't the end. If more leaks drop, if Ace resurfaces, or if the truth finally comes to light, we'll be right here breaking it down. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, because this story is far from over and the next chapter could change everything. Until then, stay alert, stay questioning, and remember, sometimes the silence says more than the song ever could.